The night air was cold and heavy with rain, a relentless drizzle that blurred the neon lights of downtown Chicago. Jason Carter, a single dad juggling 2 jobs, felt every drop soak through his coat as he hurried home from the office. He had just finished a grueling 12-hour shift, and all he wanted was the warmth of his small apartment, the quiet hum of his son Matthew's laughter, and a few moments of peace before bedtime. But fate had something else in store for him that evening, something that would challenge his patience, his compassion, and nearly shatter his life. Jason's boss, Victoria Reynolds, was notorious at the company for her sharp tongue and unpredictable mood. That night, the office had hosted a corporate gathering, and Jason had stayed behind to finish some paperwork while the rest of the employees trickled out. When he finally turned off his desk lamp, he found Victoria slumped in the corner of the office lounge, her expensive heels kicked off, and the smell of alcohol heavy around her. She was a shadow of the powerful, commanding woman everyone respected or feared during the day. He hesitated. Helping her would mean staying late, missing the time with his son, and risking her unpredictable temper. But Jason had never been one to turn a blind eye when someone needed help. Carefully, he helped her to her feet, draping her over his shoulder when she nearly collapsed again. Each step through the rain-soaked streets felt heavier, as if the night itself was warning him that this was more than just a favor. As they reached her luxury apartment building, Victoria's words slurred, a mix of sarcasm and something more fragile. "You don't have to do this, Jason. You could leave me here alone in the rain." "I can't," he muttered, almost under his breath. "No one deserves that." If viewers watching this story believe in kindness and second chances, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Inside her penthouse, the dim lighting cast shadows across the marble floors, and Jason could see the expensive decor, the life of a woman who had it all, yet tonight it meant nothing to her. He guided her to the sofa and gently helped her sit, grabbing a glass of water from the counter. But Victoria, emboldened by alcohol, reacted unpredictably. She tried to protest, to make him leave, but Jason's steady presence calmed her just enough to keep her from falling again. As he waited for her to sober up, memories of his own struggles gnawed at him. Raising Matthew alone after his wife's sudden death had been a battle every single day. There were nights when he went to bed hungry so that his son could eat. Days when he worked double shifts and returned home too exhausted to play or read bedtime stories. Yet he had never once considered giving up. That same resolve, that same unwavering compassion now guided him as he watched Victoria, someone who had made his life stressful and difficult at work, vulnerable and human. Hours passed, and Victoria slowly began to regain some clarity. But what Jason didn't know was that she had seen the world in a warped way that night. She had been drinking to escape a recent personal betrayal and had decided that someone needed to blame for her humiliation. Jason, the loyal and dependable employee, had become the convenient target in her drunken haze. In a flash of impulsive recklessness, she accused him of inappropriate behavior, a lie that, if taken seriously, could destroy his reputation and his career. Jason's heart sank as he realized her words could mean the end of everything he had fought for. Fear gripped him, yet he didn't raise his voice or argue. He simply stayed calm, knowing that the truth had a way of revealing itself if he remained patient. In that tense silence, Victoria sobered just enough to see the worry in his eyes, began to cry, not out of guilt, but out of shame for her own behavior. The night stretched on, filled with a fragile tension, but also with unexpected moments of honesty. Victoria, in her sober clarity, confessed the pressure and loneliness that drove her to drink. She revealed the weight of maintaining an image of control, the endless demands of her career, and the emotional void she couldn't fill. Jason listened quietly, not judging her, not dismissing her pain. And in that act of simple humanity, a subtle shift occurred. The next morning, Jason returned home to Matthew, who had slept through the storm, oblivious to the turmoil his father had endured. Jason's son hugged him tightly, and for a moment the world felt right again. He knew that despite Victoria's false accusations, he had done the right thing. Kindness, patience, and integrity were not just abstract virtues, they were shields that protected him even in moments of potential disaster. Victoria, now fully sober and remorseful, called Jason to apologize. She was embarrassed and fearful of the consequences of her actions. But Jason, with quiet strength, accepted her apology without bitterness. It wasn't about winning or losing, it was about doing what was right, even when it was hard. That single act of compassion had transformed not just his evening, but his outlook on life. He realized that sometimes helping someone else, even someone who might never understand the depth of your sacrifice, was worth more than comfort or convenience. Over time, Victoria became more aware of her actions and sought help for her struggles. Jason, though initially fearful of the professional fallout, found that his honesty and reputation remained intact. His colleagues admired his integrity. His son remained his greatest source of strength, and he carried with him a quiet pride in knowing that he had chosen compassion over fear. The experience, harrowing as it was, became a defining moment, a reminder that even in darkness, human kindness has the power to illuminate the path forward. If this story touched your heart, please engage with the video by liking, commenting, and sharing it. Stories like this remind us all of the quiet heroism and ordinary acts of courage and empathy. Before you leave, take a moment to comment on what act of kindness in your life changed everything. It could inspire someone else today. Jason's life didn't become perfect overnight, and he didn't stop facing challenges. But that rainy night, when he chose to help someone who had stumbled into despair, taught him a lesson that no amount of money, title, or success could, that the strength of a person is measured not by how much they have, but by how much they are willing to give to others, even when giving puts everything at risk. And for Jason, the single dad from Chicago, that lesson became a legacy he would pass on to his son, a story of courage, compassion, and the enduring power of the human heart.